Hey everyone. Mal, Katie, Redsu, Cades. We got Cades here with us. Boofy's here. Chris is here. Checkmate's here. It's good to see everyone. We were just talking about, Ella and I were just saying, we need, there's always like this stuff on our wish list. And one of the wish lists was like, hey Josh, we were like, we need to have like intro music, and we haven't gotten to the intro music part yet. And it's just 'cause we just kind of,
We need it.
yeah. Thomas, it's good to see all you guys. We're just gonna wait for a few more people to come in. So Ella, what was your favorite part of the whole thing?
Oh man. My favorite part, I think, was the first event because there was this like excited anticipation, of us like getting ready for the event and all that kind of stuff. And it was like we didn't know how it was going to be. I think that was probably one of my favorite ones. And then I think the longest one we had was probably yours and Boofy's. Boofy's event went for a really long time, but it was super fun.
Yeah, I I gotta say that it and I can't believe it was like 22 events. So it's like even hard for me to remember everything,
I know.
But I just thought it was so it was just a lot of fun, and it was great to see so many of you guys who were like stuck around the whole time. And and even as like, I mean, every day we had so many people in the rooms, and we were just really thrilled about it. So um
Yeah.
so it was really awesome. So I was very happy with this. Big round of applause again for Ella, who did all the heavy lifting to set all this up. So, and
No.
all our awesome GMs who did everything. It was really, this is really fun. So
Yeah.
um as we kind of come to our final close. So today we're gonna play a game. Ella's gonna give you some instructions in a few minutes. This is our closing ceremonies
Hmm.
for the con.
I'm
Ella and I.
sad. It's
It's sad.
bittersweet.
It is. It's crazy because it feels like every time I've been to a con, it's always really sad when you get to the closing ceremony stuff. It's always like
Hmm.
sad because it's like that instance of that is gone, and I feel like we captured the essence of a con.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jimmy, you sounds
I
like you
feel
had a
that
good
way.
time. Sounds like all you guys had a good time with it. It feels like we were trying to capture that essence, right? And there's just something about having a con and then it being over. You just you know. Nikki made it to hey Nikki made it to the live. So we were already talking about like our next stuff. Uh,
I know we can't let sleeping dogs lie, can
no, we
we?
can't. No. Oh, and Chris says this is their first con technically, so that's awesome. There you
Hey,
go. There
that's
you go.
great.
Well, for a lot of people, this is their first like TTRPG too. So
Hmm.
you know. By the way,
That
I
warms
look
my heart.
super. I don't know if you can. I look super red, and it's because of
And I look super pale.
yeah.
We're like the two sides of the spectrum. Like I look like a ghost, and you look like you're like some kind of like spiritual vampire or something. So it's like we
I look like
together.
I look like Devil Hugo is what I look like. Devil
Yeah.
Hugo because it's because the map. There's a map on this screen that's like
Mm.
has like, and then I've got this walls which are like this brown wood, and it's just like all reflecting and making me look really red right now, like I'm a like Devil Hugo. So, um, So, anyways, it was and I'm just so glad we had such a great time with our this today with like our Patreon exclusive, because it was great to hear you guys share about your OCs, and that I don't know, I just it just and yesterday's like panel, which ran like 3 hours, the long one, where my panel in the evening, I just really appreciated you guys letting me just go on and just talk and be, we went on this emotional roller coaster up and down, but we talked about some really like deep stuff and not so deep stuff, but um, but it was good. It was a good, and actually, Like I think I told Ella, I was like, they made me tear up at a certain point. Like we had gotten to a part, and I actually went to bed. I was like, I think I needed a good cry. I
Mm.
think I need to just cry, because I felt,
It's important.
yeah.
A lot of people misunderstand that escaping and feeling like emotions through entertainment is just always supposed to be fun. And that's not true, you
Hmm.
know. It takes, you have to have the spectrum of emotions in entertainment for it to be really meaningful, you know. And I think that Flux Fantasy and Flux Destiny really embody that. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun, but you're also going to cry sometimes because everybody needs a good cry, you know. You have to have the positive and the negative karma, you know. That's just the way it's got to be.
Amen. That's the Church of Flux Destiny talking right there. That's great. That's great. Well, Ella, well, before we get to the game, this is our final event and our closing ceremonies, technically. And so just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming and attending all week. It was really cool. You really just made our week because we like I said, Ella worked so hard just even putting the programming and getting all the speakers together. Thank you to any of our GMs who are here listening and watching, and our other guests. You guys were so awesome for this initial mini con, which is actually bigger than most cons because we spanned a whole week. Like let's go
Yeah.
big, right? Let's go big.
This is mini to us. We're ambitious
Yeah,
people.
that's right. That's right. So, anyways, and thank you to everyone who joined Patreon during this week, and those of you guys who bought the books and the games. You can always go if you haven't been able to grab the book yet, and you want to. You can go to you can see it at the bottom, fluxfantasyrpg.com, and it'll take you straight to the core rulebook if you haven't bought it yet. And when you buy the core rulebook, you actually get a free game night on
Mm.
our Play Flux Fantasy game nights. There's only a couple seats left in it. I would highly
Mm.
recommend you go check out play.fluxfantasy.com. I don't have a fancy graphic for the bottom of this right now. So just play.fluxfantasy.com. There's this awesome calendar that you can go select from and go, pick your game night with your GM. And then if you go to links.fluxdestiny.com, it'll take you straight to our link tree that has everything from this week, including the digital character sheet that's up. So, which everyone's had a lot of fun with. So, we're really excited
Yeah.
that you guys had fun with that. So, I'm ready to do this game. We're
Okay.
gonna. So, you want to set us up?
Yeah, so we thought that we would end this week with like a little tiny actual play. This is a sampling of what your own games can be like, and it's it's we have to do it in Flux style though. So you know, of course, we have to involve the fans somehow. So in the Discord, if you're in our Discord, I have set up votes in the main chat channel. I've only put the first one up so far, and we've already got some votes in there. So I'm going to give a couple more minutes, or I'm going to give a couple more, like a 1 minute longer on this vote. I'm going to just be plopping them in there as we go. And we'll pause for a second. We'll do like a little commercial break when you vote, and you'll help Hugo, decide what his next step is, because he's going to be playing this game, or RC is going to be playing as Hugo. So of course, we're going to let him be his main boy, because Hugo's awesome, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that you enjoy this little rendition of what a Flux fantasy game can be. So,
Thank you to everyone who's shown up to support my son. He's excited and nervous, and I appreciate it. So I will switch over now to the game, and then Ella, you want to talk? You already Is there any other rules or setup you need to do for that?
no, I think that's it. I think that we're ready to go, as ready as we're gonna be.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we're here. I've got the game up, and we can see Hugo right here on the map. So we're
Oh,
ready.
good old Hugo. Okay, so this game is called stranded. You wake up on a deserted island. You have no idea how you've gotten here, and you have no idea where you are. There's no one else around you, but your clothes are tattered, and sitting up, you're amazed that you're still alive because it looks like you've been in just this huge storm that's like all around you because you're on this island, this beach, and you sit up and you look around at all of the tatterings around you, and there's something on your ear, and you realize that it's it's a crab. A crab has like latched itself onto your ear and is like pulling on it. And so what, Hugo, what are you going to do about it?
Okay, so is this the part I can I react to this, or is the audio, or is the
Yes.
fans? Okay, all right, okay.
So they've
You,
voted. They've voted already, and they've picked that you have a Hugo has a crab
oh,
on
they've already
his
voted for
ear.
that. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hugo is, and I'm not going to act because I would be a terrible Hugo, but I'm going to say that Hugo is lets out there's like this brief pause for a moment as he realizes what's happening and takes in his surroundings, and then there is this ear piercing scream where there's like
Ear
his voice
piercing.
cracks. Yeah, his voice cracks, and like he starts like
Mhm.
trying to claw at it to pull it off.
Okay. Um, Hugo, will you roll me uh a let's go with a function roll for me. So I'm gonna pull up on this map here. I'm gonna show to players. I'm gonna put that up here in the corner. It's kind of big, so we're gonna, and you can see his stats here for Hugo. So will you roll me a function basic action, please?
Sure. So we're gonna roll.
Okay, and then you're gonna add plus one of that, so 6. Okay, so you're trying to like pull this crab off of your ear, and you do manage to do so, but it does hurt quite a bit when you do so. So, but luckily you do get it off, and you you finally do get it off, and you're able to kind of, it wakes you up a little bit for sure. So you're not, you're not feeling super well, and you're looking around, and things are blurry, and but you realize you're on this beautiful beach. It's clearly this island. It's tropical. You're surrounded by the remains of like small pieces of driftwood, and the only thing that seems intact is this large Taurus that's on your chest, which is good because although you can't remember how you got here or what's going on, really, you do remember that you can perform karmistry, and you remember that your name is Hugo. And so you're isolated on this beach, and the waves are like lapping up against you, and it's kind of like peaceful. It's a bright, nice day. It's not too hot, and looking out into the water, you don't see anything but this big blue ocean, and you know that you have to try and get out of here, right? But first things first is you need to get some food, some water, and some shelter. So the sun has already started to start to set down around you, so you only have time for like one of these three things. So we're gonna let the fans decide which of these three essentials Hugo is gonna go go after here. So
Okay. So while they're thinking, just so you guys know, I don't know the story. She wrote the story. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I have zero. All I knew was that it was gonna take place on the basic scenario. So I don't know.
okay, so we're gonna see what uh the vote is here. I'm going to just leave it up for a couple of seconds each time. So if you're not in the main chat on Discord, make sure you jump in there and vote for what you think Hugo should go after. The sun is already setting, so he's only got time for one thing, right? I think that Hugo's already lost his shoe.
Oh, are we already
Probably.
talking about the shoe?
I mean, if you wake up on a beach, right? you've got, I mean, at least one has got, you've been in a shipwreck, you know what I mean? At least one is gone, probably.
Right.
Okay, just a couple more seconds here. Okay, I think that we've got the vote. So
Okay.
Hugo is going to go, and he is going to go and gather water. Water is essential. He knows this. He's a smart guy. He knows that he could probably go a couple days without food. He knows that, if the sun's setting, he doesn't really need shelter. And so he goes and decides to go get some water. So you're picking your way through this jungle area, and you hear the sounds of rushing water close by, right? And after a few minutes, you come into this beautiful clearing and you see this huge cliff, like just this monstrous mountainous cliff. It's beautiful, it's covered in all of these trees, and it has a waterfall. And the water is running into this little basin, and it's crystal clear, and there's ripples like running through the stream, and the water looks good and it looks clear, and it looks safe to drink. But the thing is that that you want to bring it back to your camp, right? You want to bring it back because that's where you're going to be building your little base, right? So you are going to need to take a look at this water here, Hugo, and you need to decide what to do, how you're going to take it back to your camp.
So do I need to move up here to the cliffs?
Move up to
Okay.
the
So
cliffs.
I'm gonna move
That's
up
where
to the
that's
cliffs, right back here. So I'm gonna be like right over here, and then since we can't see a waterfall, it's gonna be right here. And okay, so I'm at
it's beyond the map, yeah.
okay.
Just
So
off the map.
okay, so I'm here. Okay.
So how do you decide, Hugo, how are you gonna get the water back uh to your camp?
Okay, first, they're much smarter than I am, everyone who made the choice for this, because the first thing I was thinking about was food and I didn't think about water. And I was thinking, as Hugo, I was like, he's probably going to be hungry and he's going to be like, because he eats all the time. So I figured he would
Uh-huh.
be like thinking about food. So very smart of you
Mm,
guys to choose that. Okay, so bringing the water back to the camp, he's going to have
yeah.
to fashion some sort of like container.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, his his particular powers don't let him like create objects, so he'd have to
Mm,
use.
that's the tricky part.
Yeah, he'd have to use like, what would he do? Well, he could. Okay, he could use. I think he could technically. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. He could change the state of matter of the
Mm,
water and create
okay.
like a water block, but water's pretty dense and heavy, so it's not like it
Mm,
would be very easy for him to bring back. But let's say he could change the density of it, and maybe
okay.
I guess, well, he could do that, then he could use gravity to float it over.
Sure. Why don't you roll a willpower threshold for me?
Okay, let's see. Whoop,
Whoop.
14.
14. Okay, so um I think that with this roll, this is a good success. So will you explain how, using like your chemistry abilities, that Hugo will bring the water back to his camp?
Okay, so Hugo's super proud of himself because he thought of this and he creates like three like spheres of like basically he's turned them into like ice bowling balls. I don't know how else to explain it.
Mm. Mhm.
And but they're really heavy because water's super dense. So he then uses his he manipulates gravity to make these like ice balls like float around. Now he's getting kind
Mhm.
of cocky about this because he thinks he's like super smart for having come up with this idea. So
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
is he is striding back to camp with these balls floating around his head, like they're like spinning around as he goes there.
Yeah. So Hugo's going to get back to camp, and he quickly sort of fashions these uh, like dock leaf holders for this ice, and it's like slowly dripping down into what he's kind of made like a makeshift bowl, with this wood and stuff. And he's looking around, and he's thinking, that was kind of a big act of karmistry, and yet there's no payback. And so he's kind of suspicious, but as time goes on, he takes a drink of water, and it's really refreshing. It's crystal clear. It's very good, and it's refreshing. And uh the sun is setting, and the waves, are coming up on the beach really peacefully. And Hugo is he's laying down, and he's laying on the soft sand, and it's been warmed by the sun throughout the day. And despite the like dire circumstances, um, you feel like this sense of relief and relaxation come over you, and you're able to look up at the stars, and they're twinkling brighter than you've ever seen them, in the like polluted cities, of Fortuna, and even like in the fields near like your hometown. They're crystal clear and beautiful, and you just kind of like sink into the sand, and you fall asleep for the night
With my water balls around me.
with
And
your
no.
with the ice melting in the
Okay,
water.
all right, okay. And I don't have any shoes, right? Just to be clear.
You don't have any
Okay,
shoes.
because I've seen a lot of talk about the shoes, and I didn't think about a shoe canteen. I would have if he had a shoe. You said no shoes, right?
No shoes. He doesn't have
Okay,
any
see,
shoes.
I couldn't have done the shoe canteen. That would have been probably
He
smart.
immediately lost them. He
Okay,
woke
medium
up
lost.
without them.
Okay, all right. The socks are
Okay,
gone too, so he's like no wet socks.
no wet socks.
Okay, all right,
No
okay.
trench foot in this in this version of
Okay, all right,
island life.
okay.
He's a
So,
true castaway.
all right, he's taking this really well, by the way. If he's just like on a deserted island, just like so,
He's
I'm very
you
proud of
know,
him.
he's taking it like I might, where it's like if I ended up on a deserted island, I'd probably be like, sweet, free vacation.
Yeah.
And that's not the right way to think about it, but I think that's his way of thinking about it, and I respect that.
Okay. All right. Now I'm surprised
Okay,
he's going to bed so easily without eating, but that's okay.
uh, he's a new man. He's a new man.
Okay.
Um, okay, so he's gonna wake up the next day covered head to toe in sand. He has this idea. Today is the day that you build your escape vessel and attempt to leave the island. You already have water. You've overnight the ice is melted into your makeshift, cups, and you're ready to transport it, and you're all ready to go. But you need to get, you know, you need to get the rest of the supplies. Okay, so I'm gonna put another vote in the chat here.
And if you guys can't see, I know there's like this box over here. Let me make this box a little smaller. So you can see I'm gonna make me and Ella fly around the map right now. So over
Woo!
there, if you go over there, that side of the map, there is a bunch of trees and cliffs, and then we've got some more stuff over here. So as we kind of float around the screen, you and I, I'm trying to put us in a place where we won't bother anything. so, uh,
So you
okay.
so you are you are thinking about like what you need next, because you've got all of this you've got all this wood around you, and you're thinking, okay, so I know that I can build a boat with all of this wood, but I have to have food, because if I'm going to be out on the ocean for a while, I'm going to need some food. And so that's what the fans have voted for. They need food first. And so you're going to go, and you start walking, and you find these really tall trees. And if you want to look around and try and figure out what you see.
Okay, so I'm standing here. I've reached for the trees, and he's been whistling this whole time. Just so you guys know, this
Like,
whole like I think he's been whistling like the theme song of like one of his favorite shows because he's just like
mhm,
you know trying to pretend like nothing is wrong, even though he's like
mhm,
on a
mhm.
deserted island. So I think he's okay. So he's reached the trees.
Okay, so he's reaching the trees and he's looking around and why don't you roll a function threshold for me and we'll see what Hugo sees. We'll see what Hugo
Okay.
is looking at.
Whoop. 16.
Okay,
Yeah.
16. Okay, so that's really good. And so Hugo
Hold on a second. I'm worried that I'm rolling all these high numbers now because when it counts, they're going to. I'm like burning through my.
No, no,
I'm burning through my.
no.
This is. I can already see it. I'm already seeing this. He's gonna end up like floating off on a banana peel or something. You know, like okay, okay, all
uh,
right. Go ahead.
so he's looking around at these trees and he does notice that they are coconut trees. And so he is excited to get up in that tree and to get some coconuts. Unfortunately, like all the coconuts on the ground are like rotten or old, like they're not fit for eating. So he's gonna have to climb up and get a fresh coconut. So
Okay.
Hugo, how do you want to get up in the tree and do that?
Um. Can I assume that his his Taurus is not glowing or anything from yesterday? Like he's
It's
still
not
okay.
glowing.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
totally
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So I think I think he's going to. I think he's. I'm like, would he use Karmistry right here? I don't know if he would try to. Okay, so he sees coconuts in the tree, right? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I think because he's really hungry, he's like
Mm-hmm.
really hungry, right? Because it's been like he's overnight, he hasn't eaten
Yep.
anything, and
He's definitely hungry.
this boy can eat. He eats all the time. So when he was not, he's like really hungry. So he's kind of like what's it called, like delirious a little bit. So he's like he doesn't instantly think about, in fact, on his way over to the tree he started like he saw his Taurus that was still hanging around his neck and he thought it was a donut, so he was
Oh
gonna,
no.
he
He's
almost broke
thinking.
his teeth. He like grabbed it and he was like, oh, this giant donut, and and he's like, not. But okay, so he's like like stumbling over to the tree, and then he decides, he's like, I'm gonna climb that tree. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, his eyes are like, he's really hungry, right? So he's like, he's gonna climb the
Yeah.
tree. I think he's not like fully together, so he can't think about the karmistry right now. So he's gonna try to climb the
Yeah.
tree.
Okay. Will you roll an agility threshold for me, please?
Sure. Let's see. Oh
Okay.
no! I knew it.
So that's a 4. Okay, so Hugo, you are gonna start to climb the tree,
All right.
bare
So he's got.
feet, bare hands, and if you know a lot about coconut trees, you'll know that this coconut trees are not smooth. They're not. They're very sharp
Mm.
trees, and Hugo, it's not going to be super good for you, and you are gonna
Ouch!
slide
Ouch!
right
Ouch!
back
Ouch!
into the
Ouch!
tree.
Oh, he's gonna slide down it.
Yeah, so he's like trying to climb up and then it's not
Ouch!
working. He's gonna slide back down the tree.
Ouch! 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 Okay.
Um,
Sandpaper thighs now. Ah! Oh my! He's like, ah! He's going to, ah! Bam! Hits the ground.
so he hits the ground hard, bam,
Yeah.
and a
Bam.
coconut. He's shaking the ground, the trunk and the ground so hard that a coconut is gonna fall right next to him. It's gonna crack open, and he is gonna be able to eat, thankfully. But it did cost him, a little bit of his health here. So we're gonna
Okay.
keep track of that.
Okay, but
Um,
he's like chowing down on this coconut now, right? Like he's like, it's broken open. He's just like inhaling it, right?
yes, heck
Okay.
yeah,
At least he got.
raw and all, raw coconut.
Okay. Now
Yeah,
the sun is it daytime? Like it's
it's
daytime now?
daytime, but it feels comfortable. Actually, it's not too bad.
Okay.
It feels good. It feels tropical, you know.
Yeah.
Hugo's a little golden boy. He's already getting a nice tan, you know.
Okay.
Maybe a little sunburn, but not uncomfortable.
Okay.
Nothing uncomfortable.
Okay. So he's had one coconut, which I don't think is going to hold him over too long. Just letting you know, I know him pretty well. So he's
So
eaten a coconut. Okay.
he's got a coconut. You know, luckily he is looking around him now that he is not so delirious. He's looking around and he sees that a couple of other coconuts on the ground are not so rotten. So he's starting to gather them up when suddenly he's going to hear something from behind him. This sort of terrible, menacing, growling sound. It sounds really terrible and threatening. And Hugo is going to turn around and he is going to see this creature here, and he doesn't quite know what it is at
Oh
first.
my God.
But what it is it's this clockbot tiger has come out of
Oh.
the foliage of these trees, and it looks like some kind of crazy chemistry experiment, you know, gone wrong. And it looks like it's really happy to be on the island. What it doesn't look happy about is that you are here, and so it's like, you know, kind of making its way towards you very menacingly.
Oh my God.
uh,
That scared me
so
just seeing them like that. Okay. Wait. Oh, and this is a clock bot? So
yeah,
I
it's a
can't.
clockbot
Okay.
tiger,
Okay.
some
So
kind of crazy experiment, you know, gone wrong here, that somebody has like abandoned this experiment on this island. So Hugo is now going to you're going to face down against this clockbot
okay.
in
So like
battle.
throwing coconuts really aren't an option, right? So I
I
don't
do
think that's
not. I
gonna work.
think that that would not be in your favor. You
Okay.
can
All right.
certainly try. You can
Okay.
certainly try.
I don't think so. I think at this point, falling off the tree and eating the coconuts and everything and drinking them and whatever, like he's like come back to his senses, adrenaline's hitting, and he's just like,
Hmm.
oh
Hmm.
my gosh, right? And he's like, I
Yeah.
think he's standing there like, don't move. Like if I don't move, he won't see me, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
this isn't an animal, right? So this is a clockbot. So
This is a clock bot, and you
yeah.
know, I'll let the fans vote for the reaction that Hugo has at first. We'll ask the fans if Hugo perceives the tiger and gets like tries to figure out its weakness, or if he attacks first.
Okay.
If he just attacks without thinking.
All right. Let's see what you guys say. I wish he had a shoe. I wish he had a shoe because we should have
It's like his lucky
like
charm.
I think Ella doesn't want us to do like reruns. Like she wants fresh jokes. So I think that's why she purposely made sure I didn't have a shoe.
All you said, the only caveat for this was that you said you want him to lose his shoes, so he did immediately. That was the
So
okay.
there.
It
Yeah.
looks like we already have our answer.
Okay.
So Hugo, even though he is delirious, he stops for a minute and is thinking. So he is. You're going to go ahead and roll for perception, which means that I have a written perception of this creature, and if Hugo rolls higher than it, then he can understand its weakness. Okay. So go ahead and roll RC, and you're going to add your function
Okay.
modifier to this.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
13. Okay. And my function.
13.
Where's my sheet? My character sheet. Where did it go?
Here, it's right here. Move it
Oh.
over to this side. Can you see this?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So +1. So 14.
Okay, great. So, Hugo is going to take a look at this creature, and he starts to see that it's definitely an X type. You know, it's experimental. It's sort of, it's, you know, got claws and fangs, but he sees that, like, it's kind of like, it seems like it's scared of the sun a little bit. And Hugo deduces that this is a creature that's scared of fire, and that if he can somehow create some fire, that the creature will run away. And it actually doesn't seem like too tough of a creature, so he thinks that he can, if he decides to battle it, that he'll be able to take it on pretty easily.
Okay. So are they going to vote again, or I have to come up with this one?
No,
Okay.
you can decide what to do from this point.
So he's standing there. The creature, this clockbot is like staring at him, and he
Yeah,
has to move quickly, right? Um.
yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Fire. Hold on. I'm trying to think. I think that um the only thing I can think of is like taking those two trees, like uprooting them and like rubbing them together and make a big fire, like nice kitty, and then like pull the two palm trees and just rub them together until they make a nice fire.
Yeah,
It looks like a cat, so maybe he could
yeah, yeah,
distract it
yeah.
while he does that. That's kind of what I'm thinking,
He,
because
you're certain welcome. You're certainly welcome to try, or you could just try to attack it. Either way, it's up to you as the player.
I can attack it too. Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Um, what do you guys want? Do you guys want me to use the palm tree method and try to scare it, or shall I torque strike it? What do you guys
I'll
think?
ask the chat.
Yeah, see what the chat says. I honestly think he would. I think I know what he would do. I think he would like try to attack it, especially if it was going to come after him. But if you guys want me to try something a little different, I can try the palm trees. Befriend it. That's Boofy. Boofy wants to make sure that we don't like hurt any. Can I make it my friend? Can I try? Can I try to like
You
reason
can
with it?
you can certainly try. It doesn't seem like it wants any friends. Let me
Oh,
just
it
say
doesn't.
that.
Okay, it doesn't want any friends. Okay. All right. Let's see what they say.
I'm gonna let it go for. It's going back and forth, so I'm gonna let it go for just another second.
Okay. And I don't see the chat, by the way, so I don't know what. I only see the YouTube chat. I'm not seeing what's in Discord. So if you guys, whatever you guys are saying there, okay. Palm tree. Mark says,
I think. Oh no,
just call it.
it's 50-50.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote.
Okay.
I'm a part of this Discord. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna say that Hugo has lost the element of surprise,
Okay.
and he needs to attack now.
Okay.
And if something happens during the battle that allows him to take a moment and make fire, then that's fine. But I think that he needs to attack or be attacked. I think at
Okay.
this point.
Let's go with I guess let's go Torque Strike, right?
Okay, yeah, let's go Torque Strike. So the way that this works, if you remember, you roll a d20 and I roll a d20, and I add the character's defense to it. And if you outroll my roll, then you'll attack, and if you don't, then the character defends. Okay,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so this character doesn't have any defense. It has a +0 on defense. So you need to roll. Oh, my dice just
Oh.
like left. Oh,
Oh.
you need to roll a 20,
Great.
RC.
Great. I should have just picked up the palm trees and rubbed them together. And this is where we are now. She's like, "Oh, just go attack it." I'm like, "Can I just rub the palm trees together?" No, go attack it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Here we go. If my luck still holds with my pink dice. Great. Great.
Okay, so you conjure up this gear, you rush towards it, but you're still a little sloppy because you've just been deserted here on this island, and you you miss completely, and the clockbot tiger moves to the side, and you miss. So now it's the clockbot's turn. to try to attack, and
Great.
um,
Great.
it
Great. Great.
you
He's
can
a
do this,
teenager.
Hugo.
What do you want me to do? Okay, my
Go
turn?
ahead and roll for
Okay.
defense
All
and
right.
add +1, which is your defense.
All right. Here we go. Mother of pearl. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so the tiger rears back.
No.
It slashes at you. Your arm, two slashes down the arm. They're not too deep though. You're only taking 2 damage here, okay?
Okay.
So now it's your turn. You can retaliate.
Okay. Um I am I am going to use. All right, so it's obviously like I'm going to try Torque Strike again.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
Okay, a 10. That's not bad. Okay, a 20. This tiger is malicious. 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 Is the reflexes of this tiger are impeccable, okay? And it's going to jump to the side. But guess what Hugo sees? As the tiger jumps, its metal
His whole
skin
life
is
flash in front of his eyes is what he's
yeah,
seeing.
yes, but its arm is so shiny that you see that the sun is actually reflects ching off of its shoulder and onto some grass. And it looks like if you kept the tiger in place long enough that it could start maybe it starts smoking a little bit, right? Just a little bit.
What? It's like it's oh, the grass is smoking?
The grass is
Oh, okay.
smoking. Yeah,
Okay. 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 All right. So it's already smoking.
yeah.
Okay.
You think if you could just keep it in place for a few seconds,
Okay.
it would start maybe you would have a chance here
Okay.
because it doesn't look like you're going to be able to hit it because apparently it's very agile.
My boy has a plan. There is
Yeah.
a tuft of grass right over here
Uh huh.
that he's going to like he's like on the ground, he's like, nice kitty, and then he's gonna use a little bit of karmistry to lift that tuft of grass out of the ground and
Uh
like
huh.
bring it over to the cat and then
Uh
be
huh.
like wave it like you play with like
Uh
you
huh.
play with a cat with a toy to see if it'll get his attention while to kind of keep it distracted while the grass is burning from the magnified light. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Will you roll an aura check for me, please? Okay. All right. That's a good number. Okay. So Hugo is holding this grass in front of this clockpot experimental tiger on a deserted island.
The most advanced kind of clock bot, right? Okay. With
The
the
most
highest level
advanced.
of AI, okay?
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
right. And is like, nice kitty, to this clockbot. And um, the clockbot, like, kind of, like turns its head and is like, oh, like, is kind of, it's like eyes. You see, it's like kind of clockbot eyes go like, whoop, whoop, and like kind of dilate and get interested,
Aw, kitty.
and you see that you like look over very quickly, your eyes are shifting back and forth between this horrifying cat creature and the tuft of grass that's like starting to smoke, and you're like, okay, come on, come on, and it's starting to smoke, and then like it goes a little fire, just a little one, just a tiny little fire, just goes just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the cat is distracted right now, right? Like
The
he's
cat
like,
is just a little distracted, yeah.
okay. Um,
So what is Hugo gonna do in this moment?
okay, it's the grass that's on fire.
Yeah, there's it's a little bit of grass that's on
Okay.
fire. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I think Hugo is going to use gravity again to
Hmm. Hmm.
lift this bush over here
Hmm.
and rush it and like bring it toward him as it rushes over the fire so it turns into like a ball of like fire of like this burning bush. No religious reference. It's a whole like burning bush that like he's using like to like swat at the what was the cat's name in Jungle Book, the one that had was it Shere Khan who had like they tied the
Yeah, yeah.
stick and it caught on fire like that, right? So he's
Okay.
like he's gonna bring it over while the cat is distracted.
Yes. So the the cat, the tiger is going to see this and is like gonna back away. You know, it's wary of you, and it's going to kind of look between you and is suspicious of you, and then looks at the fire and it decides to leave you alone and scampers off and runs away because it's afraid of the fire. And so it decides to leave you alone, and you've been saved, and you managed to get out of this fight
But
without too much harm.
I have cool scars now though, right? Like
Yeah,
Hugo's got like cool
totally.
scars. Okay, like and they're on his arm.
Yeah, that was on his arm. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. He's got cool. He's actually like he breathes a sigh. Okay, so are you gonna make this thing go away on
Oh,
the screen? Okay,
you're like, get rid of it,
all right, get rid of
please.
it. Boofy wants me to follow it. Okay, so it's gonna go. Okay, so it's gone.
Yeah,
Hugo's
it's
now
gone.
like Hugo's like lets out a sigh of relief. He's like, oh my
Mhm.
god. Like he's like, oh my god, and like are his arms bleeding?
A little bit, but it's not too bad. They're
Oh,
definitely like surface. They're surface wounds.
okay, surface. So he's like, he like puffs up his chest and he's like, really proud of himself. He's like, yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, you don't mess with Hugo Weinschneider. You know,
Hmm.
anyone who tries to mess with Hugo, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna
Yeah.
get a burning bush to the face.
Okay, so Hugo is going to he knows that he's like ready to build his raft now to try and escape. And so he's going to put down all of these, like he's made all of these like burning, torches and stuff to kind of protect himself as he works. And he needs to decide what kind of raft he's going to make. So I'm going to put a vote in the chat for the kind of vehicle Hugo is going to use to escape.
What kind? Like you mean
So
like?
we're going to do a raft,
Mhm.
a sailboat, and a
Aw,
submarine.
a submarine out of coconut trees.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Please don't say submarine. I got to already think of how he's going to do this. If it's going to be a submarine, I don't. How are you going to make a submarine out of coconut trees?
I guess we'll just figure it out together, boss.
I guess so, but I mean, he's by himself, so he'd have to figure out himself.
Okay, so Hugo gets the bright idea to make a submarine. And he decides to craft with his chemistry. It's kind of, he's going to be working. He thinks he has these grand ideas. He's like sketching, into the sand, like all of these big plans and all of this math of how he could do it. And he starts creating it. And, by the end, he kind of gets this little boat that kind of has a top to it, kind of. But it's not really a submarine. It's just sort of like a very deep boat, is what he kind of ends up with. And
Like,
um,
like he made a kayak or something.
like he made a kayak. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay,
he made
okay.
a kayak. And so he's it's definitely deeper in the water than a raft would be. But he's pleased with it. He's proud of himself. He loads up all of his water and his food, and he gets in the boat, and he's ready to go. So we're gonna go over, and
Oh shoot! Oh,
we're
that took me by
gonna
surprise. I didn't know that was gonna happen. Like all my screens change, and now I'm like, I feel like I'm underwater. Like everything in
yeah,
here is blue now. Like I'm freaking out. It
yeah.
was so red in here. I'm sorry. I'm like losing my mind. Okay, sorry. Like literally, like I'm so tripping right now because of what you just did. I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
joking. I'm losing my mind over this. This is so like space aged, whatever you just
Yeah.
did. Like, okay, all right, okay. All right, I'm calming down. I'm calming down. I don't know if I need to get eye drops or something, but just go. Okay, all right. Like losing my mind right now over this.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you're okay.
I
I'm
need a
glad you're
paper
okay.
bag to breathe into right now. I didn't even think of this.
You're you're worried about our boy, you know.
I am. I'm very worried about him. And he's even gone. I don't see him. Where did he go?
He should be back now. Can you see him now?
No, I don't see him. Where is he?
Hold on.
The cat
You don't
came
see him
back.
on the
The
boat?
cat came back and dragged him away. Just blonde hair is left. There's just like little strands of like blonde hair left on the
Can you see
shoreline.
him now?
I don't see anything. Ella, I don't see anything. I see this like this
Sorry, I'm
little like
trying to.
I see this matchbox boat you have here, and
Okay, can you go over to the little book at the top and
I can't do
Hugo?
anything, Ella, right now. This is a lot to deal with. Okay, can't do
This is
anything
just
right
a
now.
battle map. It's just a battle
Okay,
map.
all right. Little book. Where's the? Okay, here's a book. All right.
You see Hugo? It says Hugo.
It says Hugo's character sheet.
Okay, click on characters and there should be a little pop-up. Ignore the other ones. Just see Hugo. Do you see Hugo
I
there?
don't see anything. Hold on, I can upload one. Let me see. Let me see if I can just upload it from my desktop.
You should just be able to. Hold on. Let me see.
Wait. I can just do it right here. Hold on. I'm doing it. Here. Nothing is happening. Click to upload. Okay. I already did that. Oh, there he is. Okay, save changes. What is this? What is this?
It's okay. Calm down. We can do it together.
I'm not prepared. I'm very structured, Ella.
I get it.
Right
Hold on.
I had a fidget spinner in here that I used to.
I don't know
Keep me
why.
occupied while I'm.
I don't know why he's not showing
Maybe let
up
me
for
zoom
you.
out. Let me see. No, he's not there. He's nowhere. The sharks ate him.
No, they didn't. He's
Sharks
supposed
ate
to
my.
be there. It's okay.
The sharks ate my son. It's over. Hugo is Hugon. There he is.
You see him now?
Now there's two of them. There's two of them now. I think because I made one of them. Hold on. Let me.
Where are the two Hugos?
I don't know. I'm gonna just like hide this one off in the distance here. Okay, I hit it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. He's on the boat.
Okay.
Okay.
He's on the boat. We got him. We
We got
saved
past
him.
that. We got past that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna calm down now.
Okay.
Woo.
Hugo's on the boat. Hugo is on the boat. He's on his submarine. He's very proud of his submarine. You are
Ella,
in the ocean.
Ella, have you seen a submarine before?
Yeah.
This is not a submarine.
He's on what he thinks is a submarine.
Hugo's smarter than that. He wouldn't think that's a submarine.
He's on a submarine. This is his. Let me put in your suspension of disbelief.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine.
Okay. He's in his submarine. You break through the waves. You're out into the open ocean. Your craft, although quickly made, seems to be holding all right. You paddle out. You know, you're using your little paddle. You're paddling, and you're using all your strength. You're paddling out, and as you're going, you see around you something a little bit in the distance. There's like a shadow in the water, and you start to see it. And as you get closer, you see it's a bunch of like little fish, what looks like little fish. But then as you're rowing and as you're getting closer, away from the island, you see they start like kind of jumping out of the water, and you see that they actually kind of look like little payback creatures. They're like fish, but they've got the bunny ears on them, so they're like half fish, half payback, and they start to they're gonna surround the boat.
Oh my god.
Um,
Oh my god. Those are marlins.
yeah, but they've got bunny ears.
With bunny ears. Okay. Oh my god, they're all popping up.
So, you are facing, and the thing is they don't seem to be that angry at you. They seem to be going towards the boat, and so they're starting to like peck at the boat, and all these little patches of they start poking holes in the boat, and
Submarine.
the boat starts to the submarine, and the submarine starts to spring little leaks. And so we're gonna do another fan vote, and the fans are gonna vote what Hugo does here. and he's either going to bail out all the water, or he's going to patch the holes here.
Okay. While we're waiting, I'm curious what the propulsion system was of this submarine.
He's rowing, but it's a submarine, so he has to like lift really high up.
Rowing a submarine? You know he's a smart
You
kid,
heard
right? Like
me.
he's okay. All
I
right.
said I said you heard me.
Mhm. Submarine. The sub is for substandard.
Okay, so Hugo is finally using his brain, and he decides that bailing isn't going to do him any good, and he is going to start patching up the holes of the boat. So Hugo, how do you patch the holes of this boat, of this submarine up?
It's a wooden submarine with holes in it that have been patched in. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Give me a moment. Hold on, let me think about this for a second. Uh, I'm trying to think of his powers, what he could do. Uh,
It's tricky, right? And these are things you're going to run into.
are there a lot of holes?
Um, there's like 3 or 4.
3 or 4, and are these like big holes, or is
No,
this
no,
like
they're tiny. They're
they're
tiny.
tiny holes? Okay,
Yep.
and he's got like tattered shirt and shorts, sort of thing.
he does. Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna take whatever's left of his shirt and he's
Yeah.
gonna tear it into pieces
Uh huh.
to like shove it into the holes.
Okay. Will you roll a technique threshold for me, please?
Okay,
Oh.
mother. Okay, I told you, I used all of it up front.
Okay. Um, so
Yeah.
Hugo, so Hugo is going to, he's going to try his best to stick his shirt into these holes. But he doesn't realize more of them keep popping up as he's doing this. So he realizes that he needs to use like 2 more pop up, and he uses his feet to cover the last 2. And he's just kind of in an uncomfortable position as he's trying to now row away
Wait,
from
wait,
these.
wait. Okay, so shoved he's taken his shirt off and broken it into pieces and shoved it into these holes, and there's others,
Yes,
and he's actually doing this whole like twister thing where he's
yes,
clogging how many other holes, like it,
just
like with
2
his feet.
with his feet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's got his hands are available, right?
Yeah, his hands are available, and he's rowing still. He's trying to get away. He's trying to get away from these payback
Okay, he's
swordfish.
rolling from these payback swordfish with bunny ears.
Okay.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
got it.
Okay, so he is the fish though, they seem determined to take Hugo down to the bottom of the ocean. And so for this final vote, we're going to figure out how Hugo defends himself against these fish.
Yeah, please tell me. I'm very curious how this is going to happen after this experience. Save him! Someone save him!
Okay, so he can either use Karmistry, he's going to either use Karmistry, his fists, or the paddle of the submarine.
Oh, so he's gonna like throw haymakers at the PayPal
If
fish,
that's what they
the
vote for, yeah.
payback. I call them the PayPal fish. Payback, payback fish.
Yeah.
So he's gonna fight him. All right,
Yeah. A
that's
little
that.
bit. Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's my side. That's how I taught him.
Yeah. Okay,
Go
so it
down
looks like,
swinging. You go down swinging.
yeah, so
Gah, gah, gah.
Hugo has had enough of this. He's had enough. He's ready to fight back. He's going to take his paddle and he's going to go wham wham. And RC, how does Hugo defend himself with this paddle against these fish that are trying to get to him?
So,
How does he fight them off?
like, I think that he starts recalling some of his favorite TV shows he's been watching, and
Hmm.
where there's just like these real, just amazing action moves that he has. And so he takes the paddle. He has to, obviously, while his feet are still planted in these holes, he
Hmm.
realizes that he can't, because he can't move from there, right? Because then he'll start sinking. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, so he's got his like heels like planted into these holes, and there these like payback marlins are like flying around him, and he's like doing this awesome, like it's almost like Matrix style where they're like flying
Hmm.
over him, and he's like, God, and then he,
Yeah.
like he's doing the bullet thing where they're flying over
Hmm.
him, and then as one is flying over, he's already swinging to get the next one, so he's just like plowing at them with this um with this paddle, um really well. Like he's doing it really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So the payback fish are getting knocked around, just boom, 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 and they're flying off in all directions. And it seems to do the trick because they start to leave you alone. And the holes in the boat start to kind of like, you know, not leak as much. They seem to be kind of clogging with stuff that's like coming in from the ocean, right? So you're able to keep paddling, and you continue to row, and you're rowing and you're rowing, and nothing else seems to be bothering you. And you row for a long time, and suddenly in the distance you see what looks like dry land, and you're like looking, and you're so excited, you start like jumping up and down, and you're so happy, and then suddenly you're like you like are jerked out of this, um almost like a dream, right? Almost like a dream. And for a second you're really disoriented because you're just sitting in a chair at home, and you're like looking around, and you're really confused because you still feel the sun on you, and you still smell the ocean, and you remember that your quantum chemistry friend wanted to do these experiments on you with like realistic illusions, and you look down, and like your shirt is tattered, and you've got these little lines on your
It's
arm from where you
gone.
were
The
attacked,
shirt
but
is
it's all
gone.
gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
Oh.
it's like or yeah, your shirt is gone, and it was like it was all real, and you're looking down, and you see your shirt just on the floor and stuff, and uh you are back in reality, but it felt really real. Like your throat is still dry, you still feel really thirsty, and it felt like only, really only a couple minutes has passed, but it felt like this really long time. And it looks like the experiment was like a little bit too successful because that was like a lot for you, and you don't think that you'll be trying that anytime soon. But luckily, you're safe, and everything is now back to normal, and you've escaped the desert island. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Barely escaped. Barely escaped. Was there going to be a scenario? Was there like a death scenario of this if this didn't work out, or what? Was I going to have to use my?
I guess you'll never know.
I'll never know. Okay, I guess
Yeah.
I'll never have to know. Okay.
Or I guess you'll have to play again if we ever decide to do this
And I
scenario
wonder who
again.
the quantum chemistry friend was.
I wonder who it was too.
There were several who I could think of that this might be.
Hmm.
Interesting. And where is he waking up back at Wolfgang? Like, I'm like, I need to know like I need the extended Lord of the Rings ending to this. Like,
Sure, he wakes back up in his dorm at Wolfgang, and
oh,
he's late for work. Actually, he's like,
yeah.
"What the heck? This took a little bit too long, and now I'm late for work." Um, and he's really thirsty at work. He like drinks the orders on accident, like as he's delivering them. They're like, "Where's my soda?" And he's like, "Oh, I drank it. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I was on a desert island 2 minutes ago." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" So
I if I have one regret is that I have one regret on this whole adventure
what?
is that I did not get to rub those palm trees together and start a fire. That's
Do you?
that
Why
is
don't you
that
roll
is a
for it?
real
Roll
regret.
for it and see if you would have succeeded.
Roll for it. Okay,
Yeah,
let's see if
roll
I would have
for it.
succeeded. Okay, here we go. We're gonna roll for it and see if I would have succeeded.
You not would not have.
I want everyone. I'm shutting this down. I don't want. That's it. I'm done. I am finished. I'm finished with this. No, that is ridiculous. It was a great idea. This doesn't count. This is not right. No, it would have been a great idea. It would have been so amazing. It would have been a big fire too. Whatever. This system is rigged. This is all rigged. All this is
Yeah,
rigged. You're rigging everything.
I made all of Flux Fantasy mechanics just to rig games against you.
Oh my, oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right, fine, whatever. Well, I had a good time with this, I think.
Thank you guys for helping Hugo escape. You picked the right decisions. You helped him out. Um, I hope that you had fun helping him and voting for his life.
He somehow survived it. I don't know how he pulled that off, but
Mhm,
thanks to the wooden submarine, which wasn't that had a hole at the top of it. It was more like a canoe.
mhm.
I guess he got away with that. And yeah, yeah, that was great. I had a good time. That was actually funny. That was actually a cute game. I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Did you like it? Did you
Yeah,
honestly have
yeah. I
fun?
was
Okay,
curious to
good.
see. I was curious to see how it was going to end. I was like, what is she going to pull out with this? I was like, is this in a Flux Destiny or is this, you know? But anyway, well, that was fun. I hope you guys had a good time. That was a fun way to end the our Flux Fantasy Fest. It's been a great week with everyone. We
Mhm.
had so much fun. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us all week. It's been a really awesome week together. Thank you to everyone who bought core rulebooks and bought the other products and joined our Patreon.
Mm.
We've got so much coming down the road. We've got even future event plans that we're going to be doing. So those are coming up soon too. Anything else I'm missing, Ella?
I think that's it. I can't think anymore. I'm
I
all
can't.
used
I
up.
can't. I can't either. I need to go eat a coconut because I am like I'm gonna. I'm feeling now. I was like, I need some
I need a
coconut.
sketch. I need at
Yeah,
least one sketch for you, for of you rubbing the two palm trees
two palm trees
together.
together.
What we could have had. What we could have rue the day.
Uh, um. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I declare Flux Fantasy Fest 1 officially over. Good night,
Aw.
everyone. Have a great weekend. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye bye.